Food Fraud and Food Safety Trends, European Union 2022. Every year, the European Commission publishes a report summarising the issues they've identified in food safety, feed safety and food fraud. They call this the Alert Cooperation Network, the ACN, annual report. The ACN is a network comprised of EU member states, countries from European economic areas, the European Food Safety Authority, Switzerland, and the European Commission. The report combines data from the Rapid Alert System for Food and Feed, RASFF, the Administrative Assistance and Cooperation Network, AAC, and the Agri-Food Fraud Network, FFN. Heaps of acronyms there. RASFF is for risks to human health from food or food contact materials and risks to animal health or the environment from feed. The data is publicly available. AAC is for cross-border violations of food legislation that don't present an obvious health risk. The data is shared between competent authorities such as government organisations. FFN is a network that is activated when fraud is suspected. The data is confidential. Food safety results from the report. In terms of food safety, the largest number of notifications in 2022 were related to pesticide residues. This is unchanged from 2020 and 2021. The most affected food types and countries of origin were fruits and vegetables from Turkey due to pesticide residues, followed by salmonella in poultry meat products from Poland and food contact materials from China. Aflatoxins in nuts, nut products, seeds and cereals accounted for 5 of the top 10 recurring food safety alerts, with the worst performing country for aflatoxin contaminated products being the United States of America. Food contact materials accounted for a notable number of food safety alerts in 2022, with a total of 219 notifications. Half of these were notified because the materials were found to contain chemicals that could migrate into food, including aromatic amines, formaldehyde, and lead. Many of the products were from China and included bamboo components, which are not allowed in plastic food contact materials in Europe. Food fraud results. In the ACN report, the food fraud notifications come from the Food Safety Alerts, RASFF, as well as the Regulatory Compliance Alerts, AAC, and the Direct Food Fraud Notifications through the FFN. Within the Food Safety RASFF system, there were almost double the number of alerts assigned to the category of fraud in 2022 compared to 2020 and 2021. The fraud category is assigned when there is an improper or absent health certificate, or an improper or absent analytical test report, or an attempt to import food illegally. The fraud notifications in the Food Fraud Network are alerts which are sent from one ACN member to another about suspicious activities and or requests for cooperation. In 2022, they numbered 600, which is significantly more than the previous year, which saw 407 notifications. The report writers stress that this is not an indication of more food fraud occurring, but of more notifications, which is evidence of more cooperation between the FFN members. Many of the notifications were related to 2 special enforcement actions which were carried out by the network. One enforcement action targeted imported adulterated honey, and the other targeted the illegal trade of domestic pets. Almost half of the notifications in the Food Fraud Network in 2022 were related to the illegal trade of pet cats and pet dogs, and that accounted for 276 of 600 notifications. Of the other half, not related to the trade in cats and dogs, 73% of notifications were related to products that were traded within the EU and 27% from outside the EU. Goods from China made up 21% of the notifications from products from outside the EU, and they were mostly related to honey and fish. India accounted for 12% of the notifications and mostly concerned the undeclared addition of water to shrimp. For EU traded goods, Spain accounted for 15% of notifications within the ACN network, and most of those were for suspicions about fraud in squid or mislabeling of ordinary olive oil as extra virgin olive oil. The Netherlands accounted for 13% of notifications, and these were mostly related to the misdescription of animal products or the smuggling of animal products. Significant frauds and categories. Honey and royal jelly had the highest number of food-related food fraud notifications, and this is because of the coordinated enforcement action conducted in 2022, which concentrated on the adulteration of honey with extraneous sugars. And you can see issue 81 of this newsletter for a report on the honey fraud investigations in Europe. Fraud in live animals as related to their illegal trade and the sale of meat not fit for human consumption was common. The frauds took the form of forged or fraudulent passports, microchips and health certificates, as well as smuggling illegal trade. Horses were the most often notified animal in this category. Meat and meat products, fish and fish products, and fats and oils were the next most reported food types at approximately equal numbers. For meat, the suspected frauds were smuggling, illegal import, illegal production or slaughter, and mislabeling. For fish, most suspected frauds were species substitution, tuna coloured with unauthorised additives, or suspicious trading of glass eels. In the oil category, all frauds involved olive oil. Dietary supplements and dietetic foods had more notifications than in 2021. The sale of unauthorised products, the addition of unapproved components, and unauthorised health claims were the main fraud types in these foods. There were 37 suspected frauds related to improper, suspicious, or illegal claims about geographical origins notified in 2022. The most commonly affected food type for this type of fraud was meat and meat products, such as prosciutto di San Daniel, followed by wines like Prosecco and dairy products like Parmigiano Reggiano. There were 90 notifications of suspected fraud in animal feeds and pet foods from the RASEF, AAC and FFN. They were mostly related to unapproved or undeclared treatments or additives, such as unauthorised nutritional additives like vitamins, amino acids or antioxidants, colorants or flavours, and unauthorised pesticides, including chlorpyrifos or ethylene oxide. Other frauds in animal feed and pet food were from false or unauthorised nutrition or health claims. So I'm now going to summarise the biggest issues that came out of that report, and I'm just basically pulling them all out so that they're in an easy list for you to find. And they are in no particular order. Pesticide residues, pesticides not allowed in Europe, in fruit and vegetables. Salmonella in poultry meat, poultry products and herbs and spices. Aflatoxins in nuts, nut products and seeds from the USA, Egypt, India and Turkey. Dangerous chemicals in food contact materials such as packaging or servingware from China. Honey and royal jelly adulterated with extraneous sugars. Fraud in live horse trading, and that would include passports, microchips and health certificates fraud. Meat fraud in the form of illegal trading, smuggling and the sale of meat not fit for human consumption. Fish species substitution fraud and unauthorised colorants in tuna, fraud in squid from Spain. Shrimp from India with undeclared added water. Illegal trading of glass eels or juvenile eels. Supplements and dietetic foods, sale of unauthorised products, unapproved components and unauthorised health claims. Fraudulent claims of origin for protected origin products, including meats, wines and dairy foods. And finally, animal feed and pet food affected by fraudulent addition of nutritional additives, fraudulent nutrition claims and presence of unauthorised pesticides. There is a link to the full ACN 2022 report in the email and post, and I encourage you to check it out and subscribe to the newsletter so that you can stay up to date with this stuff really easily and not have to read the whole report yourself next time.